What is going on, everybody? Thanks for checking out today's video. We're diving in today looking at this Hiram crossbow scope. All right, so when you open it up, it's packaged super nice. Comes with the instructions. It has a cleaning cloth. It's got an Allen wrench right here. And then your mounting rings. So really nice little package right here. So looking at the windage knob here, very nice. I mean, it's like a billet aluminum, has nice knurling, very positive feeling clicks. Listen to that. It doesn't feel cheap at all. Usually when one is super cheap, it'll almost have no clicks to it. It'll just feel like it just moves in between the grooves. And it doesn't feel like this one does. And it does have a rubber O-ring that goes around the base right there to keep the moisture out. This thing is fully secured down. So this one did come with a supply battery. I've already installed it. So you can see right there, it's one of the CR batteries. And then right here's your adjustments. So if you want the green reticle, then you can see this is the setting for it. So it starts with the highest intensity and then moves down to the lowest. Depending on how much light you have, if you're in a lower light setting, like right before dark or something like that, you're about to shoot a deer or something, then you may want to go down to the lower setting because this higher intensity may be too strong. But then again, if you're in brighter light settings, then this higher intensity may be what you need. And if you just keep it on one of the R or the G, then it turns it off. This thing is super high quality, 6061 aluminum construction, and I can't complain about this thing. This thing is just built really good, has really nice flip up lens covers. The adjustment is really simple, and it's dialed in for the speed of your crossbow. And it has that light up reticle that is also a BDC reticle. Guys, you can't complain. Low light settings that you might be in, when you're out there hunting, this thing is just going to be paired up perfect with your crossbow to allow you still to have those shots in low light settings. So for the waterproof rating on this thing, it has an IXP7 rating, which is pretty good. And I haven't had it out in the rain or anything, so I can't contest to that. But I'm sure that this thing would hold up pretty well under those wet conditions and stuff, especially with these lens covers. I mean, in a hunting situation, that right there in itself keeps out the moisture. And fog and stuff like that, I don't think it's going to be much of an issue either. It does have fog-proof lenses. The scope is powered by a CR 2032 lithium battery. And, you know, the clarity and stuff seems really good on this. But during daylight, you know, this thing doesn't really need the lit-up reticle. Just the regular black reticle seems to be kind of what you need. So it does have a 1.5 to a full 5 magnification on the settings. So you can dial it, but with that said, it is built to correspond to the speed of your bow. So this one is 375 feet a second is what the IBO rating is. So I'm gonna set that to 375. You can see that right there. And that lands me around 4 power on the scope. You know, you may not like that too much, but it's gonna make it a lot easier to adjust based on the speed of your bow. So the BDC reticle is set up to go from 20 to 100 yards. So pretty good little range there. So the eyepiece on this thing is really easy to adjust. All you have to do is pop the lens cover off, and then you can adjust the little eyepiece here. And it seems to be really nice. The scope that was on this thing before, I wasn't able to just mount it directly to it like this, because the eye relief was too great on it. I had to be like way back here, and that was with the scope that came on this thing. But with this one, I can get right up on it, and it seems to be perfect. You know, it doesn't have that huge eye relief on it. It seems to be made really good. Okay, so that's enough on the specs and stuff. Let's put this thing to the test and get it sighted in and show you kind of what you're working with when you get a crossbow scope like this. It should be pretty straightforward on sighting this thing in. It has really nice turrets on it. And once you take these caps off, super high quality turrets. I mean, they turn easy, they have really positive clicks, and I couldn't be happier with the quality of these turrets. So for this review, we're using all pile driver Carbon Express bolts with 100 grain fill points. Very nice bolt. Check out my review above. Very, very high quality bolts at a very budget price. So great hunting bolt right here. So the scope is gonna be mounted to my Barnett Whitetail Hunter STR. This is a great entry-level, budget-friendly crossbow. You don't have to go out there and spend $2 grand on a crossbow like a Raven or something like that to get a good crossbow. Yeah, those things are awesome, but you're gonna pay the price. This thing right here, I think now it's around 400, 450 bucks, but still a great buy for this Barnett Whitetail Hunter. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and take the caps off of these things so we can make the adjustments and get this thing sighted in. Anytime you do this, always go ahead and put it in a pocket or something like that so you don't lose these. We're gonna go ahead and get this thing cocked back. Go ahead and load a bolt. All right, get that thing seated. I do have a target set up at 20, but I'm gonna go down to about 10 yards. That way I can go ahead and see if we're gonna be even shooting the target. I don't wanna shoot this thing and it be way off the target, so we're gonna kind of see where it's sitting at. All right, that first shot seemed to be pretty much on point at about 10 yards. We're gonna go ahead and get this thing cocked back again, and then we'll shoot at 20 and get this thing dialed in. All right, I do have like a little bench that I'm kind of resting on. We're gonna sight this thing in at 20. And it does have a ring in the BDC Reticle for 20 yards. That's what I'm gonna use. All right, looks like we're shooting a little right. All right, so that first shot was a little to the right, probably about, I would say 8 inches to the right. So we need to move the reticle left. So you can see the arrow here says to go left, you want to turn it this way. And these are half MOA clicks. So that's half an inch at 100 yards. And based on the different numbers here, you can kind of gauge that. So we're just gonna go probably about 2 turns, and then we're gonna see where that gets us. I'm not gonna put all kinds of science into this. We're just gonna go ahead and sling another bolt. All right, so that one was about 2 inches to the left now, off the center line. So we adjusted it back and then some, which is really good. The elevation is spot on. We're not gonna have to adjust the elevation at all. So we're gonna move it back to the right just a little. So instead of going left, we're gonna move it back just a few clicks, and that should be good enough at 20 yards to put us back on point. Let's see if it's on point now. All right, you can tell my crossbow target's getting a little worn out. So this was our first shot, and then we adjusted it back. That's our second shot. All right, pushed it back through, and that one is dead center, guys. So within 3 shots, we got this thing sighted in at 20. So super easy to adjust. So let's move this thing back to 30, give it some shots with that reticle, and see if that puts us on the money as well. So let's get some more loaded. Let's try this thing at 30, which is what I have it still adjusted at. I didn't adjust the zoom at all. All right, first shot at 30 yards. I was gonna have a GoPro set up down there on the target, but guys, every single time you want to shoot a video and you don't make sure that your GoPro batteries are charged, guess what? They're gonna be dead. So ended up being dead. So sorry about not having the footage on the target itself, but we're just gonna send it without it. All right, second shot at 30 yards. So this crossbow says it's 375 feet per second, but that may not be with the bolt that's this heavy. So this is a hunting bolt with a 100 grain field point on it. So it may be switching it down to maybe 350 feet per second, maybe even lower. So I'm gonna adjust this dial to 350 and see if that puts us anywhere else. I don't know if the magnification changes, but we're gonna see if it does. All right, so we're walking down to the target. We're gonna see if that changing to 350 feet per second made a difference, but it looks like it still grouped it right there with the other ones. So you can see that. Look at that. I mean, it's a heck of a group, but it's shooting a little bit low. So I think what we're gonna have to do is find a happy medium, bring up the elevation a little bit, and then that'll put us pretty much on between 20 and 30. But realistically, when I'm shooting at deer, typically they fall between the 30 and 40 range. That's just what I've experienced with the crossbow so far. So we're gonna kind of dial this in, try to find that happy medium. Okay, since it's shooting a little low, I'm gonna move this up just a little bit. And that should compensate for us shooting low at 30, and then when we shoot it at 40, hopefully it's gonna be spot on. All right, I brought it up some. At 40 yards. Let's give this thing a try. All right, that one's perfect. All right, that was that last shot. Look at that, it's pretty much dead on, guys. Just takes a little bit of dialing in of the scope to get this thing shooting where you want it. But overall, I haven't even taken that many shots and we've got it dialed in, so can't really complain there. All right, we're gonna take 3 final shots. We're gonna go all the way down to 60 yards and we're gonna shoot with this thing. Deer hunting situation with this crossbow, I would never take a 60-yard shot, but I just want to see if this thing's gonna be on the money. And it's been shooting on the money for, 20, 30, 40. We skipped 50 and now we're going to 60. 60 yards. All right, not bad. I can't talk good enough about the adjustment knobs here. They're just awesome. Super quick, very easy to use. You don't have to use a tool or anything like that to adjust them. Very positive clicks. I think that's my biggest thing right there, is those positive audible clicks that you can hear when you adjust the scope. All right, there we go. All right, there we go, 60 yards, man. I cannot complain about that group right there at all. Very nice. So you don't have to go out and spend a lot on a crossbow scope to get really good accuracy out of it. All right, guys, I hope you like this review of this Hiram crossbow scope. And there's not a lot of good crossbow scopes out there right now, at least that I can find. Vortex makes one it's decent, and that's a really high quality brand. I strongly suggest Vortex. But there's not a lot of good crossbow scopes out there. And honestly, I was really surprised by this one because, it's a budget-friendly brand that I had never even heard of before until they reached out to me to do this review, and they sent this to me So this is a sponsored video, but I'm going to give you my honest opinions about this scope. So first of all, the build quality is excellent. It is really, really nice. I was very impressed by the heftiness and the weight of this scope, because when I feel a light scope, it just doesn't feel high quality to me. The glass on this thing is really, really nice. It's got a lot of clarity to it. So that is one big thing about a scope that I have to have, is a very clear scope. And this one has it. Super good glass on this thing. And I love the adjustment knobs. These things are very user-friendly, takes the guesswork out of it. And if you've never been around scopes a lot, this right here is gonna be very simple for you. Another positive is the illuminated reticle this thing has for those low light shots. But with that being said, it's not like your typical red dot sight or something like that, because with this thing all the way on, and I don't know if it's supposed to be like this or not, but with it all the way on, red or green, when it's in daylight settings like this, I can't even see the reticle. So I don't know if it's supposed to be like that or not, but I don't care. I like a completely blacked out reticle anyway for daylight situations. But if it's 30 minutes before the end of shooting light, you may want to switch this on, because you just never know when that big buck's got to step out, or whatever animal you're chasing, and you can be able to take a really good shot by looking through an illuminated reticle. So that's where this is going to shine. So I don't think it's a negative, but if you were looking to have a fully illuminated scope during daylight situations, this one is not going to give you that. But it does have a really nice reticle at night or in low light settings to give you the ability to take those shots. But the reticle is awesome. It has a BDC reticle, very user-friendly. It has little circles that allow you to just put that circle on your target, and it's really, really easy to get on target. Another thing I liked is how the speeds correspond to the different magnification settings here. So that's also going to take the guesswork out of it. This is new to me. I've never seen this before, but hey, Hiram done it really good. And you know, I think it's a pretty cool little feature. It takes the guesswork out of it. Once again, comes with really nice lens covers. So that right there is like 15, 20 bucks. You don't have to worry about spending, because it comes with it. Very nice objective lens piece to where you can adjust the eye relief on this thing and the actual clarity, get it dialed in for your eyes and for your eye relief. Very user-friendly on that. A lot of scopes, that right there is not that user-friendly, and it still doesn't get all of the fuzz out of it. This one gets the fuzz out, and I really like it. So not a lot of cons with this thing, guys. The only thing I would say is, you know, I get it. Not every crossbow is going to have the same speed. So this one, even though it has the settings for the speed, it was a little bit tricky to find that happy medium. We were able in this video to find it quick, but we got it sighted in at 20. And then when I went out to 30, it was still shooting low. And I was aiming dead center with the 30 marker on the BDC reticle, and it was shooting low. So what we did was adjust it up just a little bit. So with that, if we were to go back to 20, it wouldn't be shooting dead on. It would be shooting a little bit high. So keep that in mind. But still, if you have a target range, your shooting lanes, wherever they're at, try to gauge it off of that range. So if your normal range is 30, then I would get it dead on at 30 and then do the guesswork at 40. But that's not a deal breaker with this scope, guys. It's still a really, really nice scope, and you can still get it dialed in. But it may not be perfect at every single range. So just keep that in mind. If you have that select range that you like, it's going to be perfect for that. And it's got a really good build quality to it, and it's really budget friendly. So you're not going to go out there and spend $300 or $400 on a crossbow scope that you may only go out hunting a few times with a year, but you can still rely on this thing to get the job done. All right, guys, thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, hit the like button below. Also subscribe to the channel and go over and check out this scope in the description box. I have a link there. Go pick one of these up if you're looking to get a new crossbow scope this year. Very, very high quality product, and I think you'll be happy if you pick one up. All right, guys, thanks for watching the video.